comes the wind. Hello again, everybody. David Clary here at Bobby Hopkins Field, getting set for Oak Ridge High School baseball. The Wildcats taking on Maryville Christian High School, and we're just a few moments away. We're on our YouTube broadcast on our Prep Radio channel. We appreciate you watching our ball games each and every week. Let me run down the starting lineups. First of all, for Maryville Christian, leading off and playing shortstop for them will be A.J. Cable. Batting second will be the second baseman Griffin Russell. Batting third, the center fielder Boone Street. Batting fourth will be the first baseman, Jackson DeBusk. Batting fifth will be Josiah Reese. He'll be the right fielder today. Batting fifth will be the designated hitter, Tanner Jarvis. He'll be hitting for the pitcher, Will English. Batting seventh will be the third baseman, Max Hoche. Batting eighth for them will be the left fielder, Ethan Davis. And batting ninth will be the catcher, Tyler Davis. For the Oak Ridge Wildcats, leading things off for them, and we'll set the defense for you in a second as we're about to get set. In fact, I'll set the defense for you now as the leadoff man for the Maryville Christian about to come out to the home plate area, and we're about to get underway. The catcher, it will be Bryson Parks for the Wild. No, it's going to be, looks like Zach Lang is going to be the catcher today. The first baseman will be Jonathan Milloway. Second baseman for the Wildcats will be Logan Rosenberger. Caden Black will be the shortstop. Jacob Franklin will be at third. The outfield for the Wildcats consists of McNaughton in left, Swigert in center, and the right fielder is Caden Updegraft. And we're about to get underway, and here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's hit foul. Back out of play, and the count is no balls and one strike. On the mound for the Wildcats is Jackson Rafferty. Jackson has pitched only 3 innings and a third. He's given up 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 of which were earned. Here's his second pitch. This one's up high, and that evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Just underway here from Bobby Hopkins Field on YouTube. Appreciate you watching our broadcast. We've got Neo Tate with us. We've got Jordan Osborne. Here's the 1-1 pitch, cut on and missed. Nice pitch there, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jackson Rafferty is a transfer from Oklahoma. Good to have him on the baseball team. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The wind, the pitch to the plate. High and inside. That evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Very chilly day here once again at Bobby Hopkins. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Cable. Hit in the air on the infield. Shallow. The shortstop, Caden Black, under it, makes the catch for out number 1. So that's out number 1 here in the top of the first inning, and the batter will be the second baseman, Griffin Russell. Continuing on with Jackson Rafferty's statistics, he's given up 2 earned runs. He's walked 5. He's hit 1 batter. He's struck out 2. He comes in with an earned run average of 4.22. Russell stands in. The pitch to him is hit on the infield once again. Jacob Franklin, the third baseman, in foul territory under it, and he staggers but makes the catch for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 down for Jackson, and the batter will be the center fielder, Boone Street. One advantage we had last night, it was chilly. In fact, at game time, I guess around the time the game ended, honestly, it was about 39 degrees. But the good news is the game lasted an hour and 40 minutes, so we were very happy to get out of here quickly. Pitches outside and high. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Boone Street, as I mentioned, is the center fielder from Maryville Christian. He bats from the left side. They're wearing all purple jerseys with white pants and white numerals. As that pitch is hit in the air, foul territory again. Here comes the catcher Lang back for it. It bounces out of play, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. We were at Anderson County the other day, and that ball game lasted, I think, well over 3 hours. Thinking about it, we were there for a long time, and it was a regular 7-inning ball game. As once again, Boone Street steps back in. Even count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Rafferty comes to the plate, cut on a miss, and that is strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Beautiful day, as I mentioned, but it is cold. That is one thing. Only in the 40s today. It's going to get down to the 30s again tonight, maybe even the 20s. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody on. 2 outs. Pitch is hit on the ground right to the first baseman. Jonathan Milloway fields it on 1 hop, steps on the bag for out number 3. So 3 up and 3 down for Jackson Rafferty here in the top of the first inning. We go to the bottom of the first inning. No score. The Wildcats coming to bat. We'll be back on YouTube in a moment.
Number 5. Can't say that. Bro. Thank you, Bubble. Oh, you gotta have a filter, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When did it start? Yeah.
Welcome back to our coverage of Oak Ridge High School baseball here on our Prep Radio channel. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge taking on Maryville Christian as part of the Kevin Callia tournament. We appreciate you tuning us in. Vice Principal Stephanie Thompson watching us. Just got the thumbs up from her. She's watching it. Let me run down the starting lineups. The batting order for the Wildcats, leading things off and playing center field, will be Matthew Swigert. Batting second will be the third baseman, Jacob Franklin. Batting third will be the right fielder, Caden Updegraft. Batting fourth will be the first baseman, Jonathan Milloway. Batting fifth will be the second baseman, Logan Rosenberger. Playing left field today will be Alex McNaughton. The designated hitter will be Bryce Ludwikowski. Batting eighth, looks like the catcher, Zach Lang. The shortstop, Caden Black, will be the ninth hitter in Coach Travis Free's lineup here. Pitching for the Maryville Christian team is Will English, and he'll be facing in a moment. We have a little bit of a delay here. While we have that delay, I'll pause just for a second to tell you that this tournament will continue tomorrow. The Wildcats, we know, will play at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and potentially in a championship ball game or another ball game around 2:30 in the afternoon. So we'll let you know about that. You know, obviously, we have to see the outcome of this ball game. The Wildcats winning their first game yesterday against William Blount. Now it looks like we're ready, and pitcher gets his warm-up tosses, and we're about to get underway here in the bottom of the first inning. And leading things off for the Wildcats will be Matthew Swigert. Matthew, leading hitter on the team, comes in at a legitimate 600 batting average. He's 18 for 30 with 11 RBIs, 3 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs. To his credit, an on-base percentage of .683. He has scored 18 runs for the Wildcats. The first pitch to him is on the outside corner for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike to Matthew Swigert. Matthew will be followed by the third baseman, Jacob Franklin. English on the mound for the Eagles. Ahead in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Comes to the plate. This one's outside, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. English, very similar in build to Oak Ridge's Jonathan Milloway, extremely tall and thin. Right-handed throwing pitcher. Here's the pitch. Outside, bounces and goes back to the backstop, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Broadcasting on YouTube here. We've got several people watching it, and hopefully our viewership will move up. We had about 250 watched yesterday. That pitch is on the outside corner for a called strike, and that evens the count at 2-2 Jacob Franklin on deck. The Wildcats wearing their Cardinal jerseys, white baseball pants, gray numerals with white trim. As I mentioned, the Eagles are wearing purple and white. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Swigert, hit on the ground. Fair ball, third baseman feels it, but will have no play. He lost his footing as the ball went to him and couldn't recover. He kind of slid on the dirt area of the field right around the bag, and the Wildcats have their leadoff man aboard. Batter now will be Jacob Franklin. Jacob comes into the ball game for the Wildcats, hitting .250 on the year. He's 9 for 36. He's knocked in 9 runs, has 4 doubles, has an on-base percentage of .308. He's walked 3 times and scored 5 runs. Swigert with good speed. Base stealing threat for the Wildcats, and he's going on the first pitch to Franklin. Here comes the throw. It bounces up there, and that is a stolen base. So on the first pitch, Matthew Swigert swipes second, and the Wildcats have a runner in scoring position with nobody out and a 1-ball, no-strike count on Jacob Franklin. Neo Tate's with us here, along with Jordan Osborne, helping with our technical work here. English checks the runner. Here comes Swigert going to third, and here comes the throw. No throw. That's a called strike, so that's another stolen base for Matthew Swigert. So just like that, 2 pitches, and he's already at third. That is Coach Free's philosophy. Get to third as quickly as you can, and that's what Matthew Swigert has done. So he's there with nobody out. A 1-ball, 1-strike count on Jacob Franklin. His pitch is hit on the ground past the pitcher. It's going to be a bang-bang play, and he's not going to be able to make it, and the Wildcats take the lead 1-0. So Matthew Swigert comes in to score. Franklin is aboard safely, and the Wildcats have a 1-0 lead over the Eagles of Maryville Christian High School. And the batter now will be Caden Updegraft. Caden comes in, .367 on the year, 11 for 30, knocked in 5 on the year. He has 1 double. He has scored 9 runs and has walked 6 times. Fresh off the basketball court as the Wildcats might have Franklin picked off. Here comes the throw, the tag, and he is out. Good move there by the pitcher, and they knew that Franklin was going, so he stepped off and threw over, and he picked him off, and they throw him out, and Franklin is out number 1. And that is the first out, obviously. The Wildcats on top, 1-0, but now there's 1 out, nobody board, and Caden Updegraft about to receive his first pitch from English. Here's the pitch, in there for a called strike. Jonathan Milloway on deck for the Wildcats, hitting in the cleanup position for Coach Travis Free's Wildcats. 1 strike the count. Here comes English to the plate. Outside, evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Wind is kind of lightly blowing in from right field. 1-1 pitch. A little bit low, a little outside. The count is 2-1. Good crowd on hand here. A lot of them wearing blankets, some in sleeping bags, just sitting and enjoying the ball game on the cold metal bleachers here in front of us as the pitch is way outside this time. 3 balls and 1 strike. Most of the fans, and this is what you see this at a lot of parks, are sitting in lawn chairs outside the fence area of the field and don't have to sit on that cold metal. 3 balls, 1 strike the count. Breaking pitch stays up high, and that is ball 4. And Caden Updegraft is on base with a 1-out walk, and the batter will be the first baseman, Jonathan Milloway. Jonathan, like Caden, fresh off the basketball court. Wildcats making it to the Final Four AAA basketball this year before losing to Germantown Houston in the state semifinals. And Jonathan stands in. This will be only his 3rd ball game. As they check the runner, he throws over to first, and Caden is back safely. Jonathan has only batted 6 times this year. He is 2 for 6 on the year, batting .333, 1 RBI. He scored 2 runs and has walked one time. Picked up a base hit yesterday. Caden's going on the pitch. That one bounces back to the screen, and in the second will go Caden Updegraft. I don't think he was going to throw him out anyway. The pitch was way outside, and he wasn't able to recover. And Wildcats have yet another runner in scoring position. One in, one out. The count is 1 ball, no strikes to Jonathan Milloway. Logan Rosenberger on deck for the Wildcats. Let's see if Caden goes to third here. Nope, he's going to stay, and the pitch is way outside, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Jordan, I don't know if you can see the similarity between the height of Jonathan Milloway and Will English, the pitcher for the Eagles, both tall and skinny. Caden's going. The pitch is bounced to the plate, and Caden is at third base. Wildcats, we're going to give him a stolen base on that. He was going to get that anyway, and the count now 3 balls and no strikes to Jonathan. Playing first base, 4-year starter for the Wildcats. 2-year starter in basketball, scored over 1,000 points in his basketball career. 3-0 pitch, here it comes. That's the old automatic, a called strike on the knees, on the corner, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Caden Updegraff, the runner, off of third for the Wildcats. English to the plate, 3-1 pitch, outside, ball 4. So the Wildcats have their actually 4th base runner of the inning, and the Wildcats will send to the plate the second baseman. That is Logan Rosenberger. So Milloway will be your base runner at first. Caden Updegraff is down at third, and Logan stands in for the Wildcats. Logan comes in at .258 on the year, 8 for 31, has knocked in 5, has 2 doubles, an on-base percentage of .333, he's walked 3 times, and has scored 2 runs. Right-handed hitting junior. The Wildcats with junior Caden Updegraff at third, senior Jonathan Milloway at first, taking a good-sized lead. English checks the runner and throws over there, and Big John is back to the bag safely. 1-0 Oak Ridge. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Jackson Rafferty got him 1-2-3 in the top half of the inning. Wildcats have plated a run here in the bottom half. Jonathan Milloway takes his lead off of first once again. English from the stretch. Throws over to first, and Jonathan hadn't strayed that far from the bag. Back easily. Light wind blowing, not nearly as hard as it was yesterday. It was downright cold up here. The wind was blowing straight into the booth. Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground softly. It's going to take a funny hop past the third baseman, fielded by the shortstop, but not in time. And that is an RBI infield single for Logan Rosenberger. So the Wildcats now lead it by a score of 2-0 as Caden Updegraff comes in to score, and the Wildcats lead it now 2-0. Jonathan Milloway is saved down at second, so the Wildcats have runners now at first and second with 1 out, and the batter now will be Alex McNaughton. Alex batting .222 on the year, 6 for 27. He's knocked in 2, has 3 doubles on the year. He's walked twice and has scored 7 runs. Takes a strike on the outside corner. No balls, 1 strike, the count. I don't know if they'll send Milloway to third. We'll see. 1 strike, the count, taking a good lead, and the shortstop had snuck in behind the bag, but Jonathan hadn't taken a big. You have to. Jonathan is so long. He can get back easily back to the bag with his long arms, long strides. English has a 1 strike count. Big hole there for Alex to hit through. Now they are going to throw. No, fake the throw back to second. Jonathan hadn't strayed that far off. 1 out here, 2 on. Here in the first inning, 2-0 Wildcats as we broadcast here on YouTube on our Prep Radio channel. Here's the pitch to the plate. Bounces away, and the Wildcats will move up again. Milloway will move down to third, and down to second will go Logan Rosenberger. McNaughton has a 1 ball, 1 strike count on him. A couple more runners in scoring position. 1 out. English's pitch outside. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out here. The Wildcats have RBIs from Jacob Franklin and Logan Rosenberger to score their 2 runs. Everybody has reached base this inning. Jacob was caught stealing. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's in the dirt once again. Here comes Jonathan Milloway, and he is going to score run number 3. Down the third will go the Wildcats. Rosenberger. And Wildcats have a 3-0 lead here as McNaughton now has a 3-ball, 1-strike count on him. English has the sign. Here's the pitch outside, and that is ball 4. English having a little trouble finding the strike zone. Got a feel for him a little bit. It is a cold day. As, let's see, his catcher, Tyler Davis, has had some troubles trying to corralling some of his pitches. So the Wildcats have runners on the corners here, 1 out, and the batter is the designated hitter, Bryce Ludwikowski. Bryce batting .269 on the year. He's 7 for 26. He's knocked in 2, walked 3 times, has scored 2 runs. Was a designated hitter. Has been playing first base until Jonathan Milloway joined the Wildcat team after basketball. McNaughton taking a pretty good size lead at first. Let's see if he goes on the first pitch. They're going to throw over that way. I think English learned after Matthew Swigert went on his first 2 pitches, stealing second and third, that smart thing to do would be to throw over to first and make sure to keep McNaughton or any Oak Ridge base runner on the bags. That's Coach Free's philosophy, get on base, steal, and there he goes. Here's the pitch. That's a breaking pitch and no attempt. That's an easy stolen base for Alex McNaughton. So the Wildcats now have 2 runners in scoring position again, leading it already 3-0. There is 1 out here. Ludwikowski will be followed by Zach Lang in the Oak Ridge lineup. Pitch hit on the line to the left side and foul. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Not too many swings as of yet against English. The Wildcats, let's see, do have a single from Matthew Swigert. Everything has been basically on the infield here. Rosenberger's was as well. 2 strikes the count to Bryce, and here's the pitch. Way outside, and the count is 1-2. 3-0 Wildcats as Oak Ridge bats here in the bottom half of the first. 3 in, 2 on, 1 out. And here's the 1-2 pitch. High and inside, that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. As I mentioned, the Wildcats, if they are successful in this ball game, well, we know we're going to play tomorrow at 10, most likely against William Blunt again, who we played yesterday. And if they were to win this ball game and that ball game, that's ball 3 outside. English really struggling a little bit with his control. Got ahead 0-2, but it's now 3 balls and 2 strikes to Bryce. Wildcats could play at 2:30 tomorrow as a part of the Kevin Collier tournament. Will English run the stretch, checks Rosenberger at third. Here's the 3-2 pitch. High and inside, and that is another walk. So Bryce walks, and that is the 4th walk of the inning for Will English. And the batter now will be the catcher, Zach Lang. Zach looking for his first hit on the year, and he stands in. He has walked 1 time this year. He's one of 3 catchers that Coach Free has used this season. Bases loaded. Here's the pitch outside. Here comes another run. Logan Rosenberger is going to come in. The catcher throws it away, and here comes another run. The Wildcats are going to score 2 on that particular play as Alex McNaughton comes in to score as well. So Rosenberger makes it 4-0, and then McNaughton all the way around to make it 5-0, and Bryce Ludwikowski is down at second. So not exactly the way the Eagles wanted to start this ball game. The Wildcats have played at 5 here in the bottom of the first inning and only 1 out. Actually, the pitcher has not recorded an out in the game except for the pickoff of Jacob Franklin. Jacob reached base safely on an infield single, was caught stealing. That is the only out of the inning. While the conversation takes place, I want to remind everybody you can subscribe to our Prep Radio YouTube channel and get notified each and every time we go live, whether it be football, basketball, or baseball, or other sports that we might try to do. at some point. And if you subscribe to us, you'll get notified when we go live like we are today on this Good Friday. One out here, runner at second. That is Bryce Ludwikowski, the designated hitter for the Wildcats. 5 runs in for the Wildcats, and Zach stands in. A hit in the count, 1 ball, no strikes. Will English, a long look into his catcher, Tyler Davis. Bryce not going to go anywhere. He doesn't really have a great deal of speed there. That pitch is way outside, and the count now 2 balls and no strikes. Freshman shortstop, Caden Black on deck for the Wildcats. Caden is doing well on the year. We'll talk about that when he gets to the plate, hopefully this inning, if you're a Wildcat fan. 2 balls, no strikes to count. Call it a strike, a little high strike at the letters, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. I'll set the defense here in a moment for the Eagles. Haven't really had an opportunity to do that. A lot of action taking place. From the stretch, here's the 2-1 pitch. Almost hit him, and it did hit him. And down the first will go Zach Lang. I thought it kind of might have grazed his jersey. He didn't do a whole lot of movement to try to get away from that pitch, but he's on base safely. And the Wildcats have sending their 9th man to the plate this inning in the person of freshman Caden Black. Caden has started out really well for the Wildcats, as I mentioned. He comes into this game at .367 on the year. He's 11 for 30, has knocked in 5, has 2 doubles, an on-base percentage of .486. And here comes a double steal attempt, and both are going to get it. That's going to be a stolen base for Ludwikowski, a stolen base for the Wildcats' Jason Slay, who is in courtesy running for Lang, the catcher. And Wildcats have 2 more runners in scoring position and a 1 ball, no strike count on Caden Black. Caden scored 9 runs this year, and that hits him too. So it's kind of a struggling. And I see poor Mr. English looking into his dugout here, and I think he's going to have to make a change. I mean, he just really hasn't been able to find his control, and the Wildcats will have the bases loaded here. And they're deciding what they're going to do here. He's already been out there once. The slow walk from the dugout on the first base side. And we'll have a new pitcher for the Eagles of Maryville Christian. While we have a break in the action, when we come back, the Wildcats have the bases loaded. They've scored 5. We're still in the first inning. We'll be back with the new pitcher in a moment. Our guy's 6'7". They're both tall. That's for sure. What's this kid's name? Pitching. Not the pitch. They didn't give me a whole roster. Issue was that he was coming at it too much from the side, and it's kind of hard to. He's an A. So. If it's a good ball, and then how yeah, it's tough. But if it's I think he says.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. Like they actually really want it. Yeah. Bro, you don't know how to play baseball. I'm just talking. Well, you don't just go like this, bro.
Welcome back to Bobby Hopkins Field. The base is loaded for the Wildcats. The 10th man to bat in the inning. Matthew Swigert back in. That ball bounces away, and here comes another run, and everybody moves up. So wild pitch there. In to score that run is Bryce Lobukowski, and the Wildcats now lead at 6-0. And moving down to third base is Jason Slay. At second is Caden Black. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Matthew Swigert. He led off with a single back in the first of this first inning. He is the 10th man to bat. Not one person has been retired by the pitcher here. Everybody has reached base safely. Jacob Franklin got caught stealing. It is 6-0 Wildcats here. Here's the pitch to the plate. Hit in the air. Right side, foul territory, drifting over towards their dugout. First baseman can't quite make the play, and it's just a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count. Two balls, 1 strike, the count. Wildcats got a little break there. First baseman, I think he kind of lost it in the sun. Wasn't able to make the catch. 6 runs in. Runners at second and third. Swigert, as I mentioned, came in hitting a cool 600 on the year. That pitch is hit in the air, foul territory coming back our way, and into the bleachers and out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count. Hit the middle in front of us. You probably heard that. Sent the many hundreds of thousands of fans scattering here at Bobby Hopkins Field. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out here. Matthew back in, the pitch to him, that's way up high. Full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. We got 1 out. The Wildcats have plated 6 runs here in this first inning. And you're familiar with high school baseball rules. If you're up 10 after 5, game concludes. The Wildcats, we're a long ways from there. We're only in the first inning here. Here's the pitch to Matthew. That pitch is hit in the air softly to the shortstop. He's under it. He makes the catch for out number 2. So Matthew Swigert is the second out of the inning, and the batter now will be the third baseman, Jacob Franklin. Jacob was the first out in the inning. He singled, was caught stealing, picked up an RBI in his first appearance this inning. As he hits the ball to left field shallow, and the left fielder got a late break on it. It's going to drop in for a base hit. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. Here comes Caden Black, and down to second will go Jacob Franklin. So we'll give him a double on that. 2 RBIs. The ball was hit in the air. I think the left fielder thought it was hit a little deeper than it was, and he actually broke back on it. Then by the time he recovered, he wasn't able to make the play. So the Wildcats have plated yet another run as Jason Slay comes in to score. Caden Black is run number 8, and the batter now will be Caden Updegraff. Caden walked his first plate appearance, stole second, stole third, came in to score. And Wildcats still have a runner in scoring position, and he's going to third. Here comes the throw. Good throw, and not in time. That is a stolen base. Noah Ellis is the pitcher for the Eagles. Appreciate that. Caden ahead now, 2 balls and no strikes. As I mentioned, he walked his first plate appearance this inning. Over at third is Jacob Franklin. Ellis from the stretch comes to the plate. Cut on a miss. Good pitch that time by Noah Ellis. And Caden still ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. As we play here at Bobby Hopkins Field in Oak Ridge, part of the Kevin Callia tournament involving Cookville, Halls, Carnes is involved, William Blunt, and of course, Oak Ridge and Maryville Christian. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. The pitch, a little bit high, and the count now 3 balls and 1 strike. On deck for the Wildcats is Jonathan Milloway. He also walked his first plate appearance this inning. This is the 12th man to bat this inning. Pitch to the plate, cut on and foul tipped, and that is out number 3. So Caden Updegraff strikes out for the third out, but a very productive inning for the Wildcats. They put 8 on the board. We go to the top half of the second inning. 8-0 Wildcats. We'll be back on YouTube in a moment.
Why do you throw? Why do you throw? Wait, if you're not thinking right. Oh my God! I'm talking about like middle. Maybe like. Bruh, he's not getting. Okay. Wait, what am I asking? I don't know.
Basically said the first inning.
Welcome back once again to Bobby Hopkins Field. The Wildcats on top by a score of 8-0. Jackson Rafferty beginning his second inning of work. He'll be facing Jackson DeBusk, the first baseman, the right fielder, Josiah Reese, and the designated hitter, Tanner Jarvis. That'll be the scheduled 3 in the Eagles lineup. He's a lefty. And the pitch to the plate from Jackson Rafferty is a swinging strike. And the count is 1-1 strike. Jackson got him 1-2-3 in the first inning. Then his teammates got him 8 runs to work with. As once again, DeBusk stands in. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Low and oh boy, that was low and outside, but he called it a strike. And the count is 1-2 strikes. Look low and outside from here, but I don't have the greatest angle here. 1-2 strikes. Jackson comes to the plate. That is definitely outside. And the count is even at 2-2 strikes. Neo Tate doing camera work with us, along with Jordan Osborne. We play here at the Kevin Calumet Tournament, Bobby Hopkins Field in Oak Ridge. 8-0 Wildcats. Here's the pitch, low and inside, bounces back to the screen, and Jackson falls behind now, 3-2 strikes. So full count to the number 4 hitter in the lineup for Maryville Christian. I believe this is probably the first time we've ever played them in baseball. I don't know how old the school is, honestly. About 20 years old, I was just told. There's a swinging strikeout of DeBusk, and that is out number 1 here in the second inning. And the batter will be the right fielder. That'll be Reese. As I mentioned, coming into this game, Jackson Rafferty had only pitched 3 innings on the entire season, and I think that was up at either the Dobbins-Bennett ball game or the Tennessee High ball game. 1 out here, nobody aboard. The pitch is hit on the ground to the first baseman, Jonathan Milloway. He can't make the play, and that'll be an error on the first baseman for the Wildcats. So Reese is the first base runner of the ball game. Ball was hit hard right to the first baseman, Jonathan Milloway. Just couldn't quite field it, and the Eagles have their first base runner with 1 out, and the batter now will be the designated hitter, Tanner Jarvis. Another right-hander for them. Another tall player. They've got several. Runner takes his lead. Jackson Rafferty pitching for the Wildcats, senior transfer from Oklahoma. As I mentioned, pitch is a little bit low and outside. The count is 1-0 strikes. 8-0 Wildcats. Oak Ridge puts 8 on the board in the first inning. And they had to change pitchers at one point. A lot of control issues for the starter. That pitch is low and outside, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Defensively for the Wildcats, Oak Ridge at catcher has Zach Lang. The first baseman is Jonathan Milloway. Logan Rosenberger is playing second. Caden Black is the shortstop. Jacob Franklin at third. I'll set the outfield in a moment. 2-0 pitch on the outside corner at the knees. That is a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Wildcats in the outfield have Alex McNaughton, Matthew Swigert, and Caden Updegraft. Wildcats can kind of shuffle players in different positions. Caden, the last several ball games, has been playing in the infield. And third baseman was catching yesterday as the pitch is hit on the ground softly. This time the Rosenberger will field it, throw on the Milloway in time for out number 2. Moving down to second will go Reese. So they have a runner in scoring position. And the batter will be Max Hoshe. He's playing third base for the Eagles. Number 7 hitter in the lineup, Jackson Rafferty. Got him 1, 2, 3 in the first, but they've got a runner at second now. 2 outs, though. Right-handed hitter. Hoshe stands in. Rafferty checks the runner at second, comes to the plate. On the inside corner for a called strike. We complained about the cold last night, but honestly, it's not nearly as bad in here as it was last night. The wind's not nearly whipping in here as quickly as it did yesterday. Of course, the one lone heater is not on the broadcast crew as they're going to get a runner at third. That ball bounced to the plate, and Reese will be down at third base now with a 1 ball, 1 strike count on Hoshe. Scoreboard is getting all the love of the heater today, and which is okay, honestly. Jordan doesn't mind. He's doing camera work for me to my left. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. 1 on, 2 outs here in the second. 8-0 Wildcats here. Rafferty steps off the rubber and chases the runner back to third. Want to remind everybody, each Wednesday night, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock on BBB Channel 12, we have Covering the Bases television show featuring Coach Travis Free. As that pitch is bounced to the plate, they might get a run here, and they will. That's going to be a wild pitch, and the Eagles are on the board here as Reese comes in to score run number 1 for the Eagles, and the Wildcat lead is cut to 8-1 here in the second inning. Got a 2 ball, 1 strike count on the batter. So he reached on the error, moved down to second on the wild pitch, and then came in to score, and there's a swinging strike, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wildcats batted around +2 in their first inning. They'll lead things off with Milloway, Rosenberger, and Naughton in the bottom of this inning as that ball is hit well but foul. Down the third base line and out of play. McNaughton gives it a look but runs out of real estate, and the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're on YouTube right now. Got about 30 people watching. Kind of a low number, but we'll deal with that. On this Good Friday, here's the breaking pitch in the dirt, bounces away, and we've got a full count now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jackson told me on Wednesday that the only thing he likes to do is pitch. I've never heard a baseball player say that before. He says all he does is pitch, and that's what he does. 3-2 pitch, hit in the air, foul, back our way once again, and out of play. Count remains full of 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wildcats trying to win their 4th game in a row. Victory yesterday over William Blount. 4-3 here at Bobby Hopkins Field. 3-2 pitch, hit it on the ground, in the air, over the third baseman's head, and that is the first hit of the ball game. And Max Hoshe has a soft single over Jacob Franklin's head. And they have a base runner at first with 2 outs, and the batter will be the number 8 hitter in their lineup, the left fielder, Ethan Davis. My apologies there. It looks like Will English is going to be batting in that spot there. And I'll correct that. I appreciate that. That ball bounces away, and Zach Lang tries to corral it, but not before it gets back to the fence. And they've got a runner at second now with 2 outs and a 1-ball, no strike count on Will English. So I'm assuming English took Davis's spot out in left field. Thank you. I don't have a full roster here, but I have a nice, helpful person from Maryville Christian helping me with the names and numbers. As Jackson comes to the plate, cut on a miss on a high fastball, and the count is even at 1-ball, 1 strike. Runner at second for the Eagles. Wildcat lead is 8-1 as the Eagles bat here in the second inning. English back in, 6'5", I believe. Not quite as tall as Jonathan Milloway when he was pitching. Here's the pitch, bounce to the plate again, and that's another one wild. Back to the backstop will go Lang, and they've got a runner at third now, and a 2-ball, 1 strike count. So both starting pitchers with a little bit of control issues in this one. It's cost both of them. Jackson has got a 2-ball, 1 strike count. 8-1 our score as we play here at Bobby Hopkins. Two 2-1 pitch on the inside corner, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Their colors are purple and white. At least that's what their jersey colors are. The Wildcats wearing their cardinal and gray with their white baseball pants. 2-2 pitch. Hit on the ground. 1 hop to the shortstop. Caden Black throws on to Jonathan Milloway in time for out number 3. But the Eagles played a run. They do it on 1 hit and an error. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. The Wildcats on top by a score of 8-1. And we'll be back on YouTube in a moment.
I didn't know you could do like yeah, I didn't know you could do that. Like, you know you can buy the bro, when I went with you never told me that shit. Well, not like that. Not like that. I hate playing for this guy.
Start going a little slow.
Bro, I haven't got
Welcome back to Bobby Hopkins Field here, the bottom half of the second inning. Rolling around here, the Wildcats will lead things off with Jonathan Milloway. Jonathan walked and scored in the first inning. He'll be followed by Logan Rosenberger, then Alex McNaughton. The Wildcats put 8 on the board in the first. The Eagles, a solo run here in the top of this inning as Milloway takes a ball low. 1 ball, no strikes the count. I mentioned Jonathan only has officially 6 at-bats on the year. He's 2 of 6, 333 for the Wildcats. 4-year starter for the Wildcats. The pitch is low and inside, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. Noah Ellis beginning his first full inning of work for Maryville Christian. Falls behind the leadoff man for the Wildcats this inning, Jonathan Milloway. 2 balls, no strikes. Cut on and missed, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Neo Tate doing camera work down there. He's down there talking with the team right in front of the dugout. We appreciate him here, and Jordan as well. And Christian doing some technical work for us as Jonathan Milloway hits the ball to the third baseman, fumbles it, and can't come up with it. So Milloway will reach base safely here to lead the second inning off. And the batter will be Logan Rosenberger. Logan had an RBI single, scored a run, moved up to second and third on 2 wild pitches in the first inning. Jonathan Milloway on base for the second time, having words with his first base coach as Logan stands in. Logan came in at 258 on the year. So picked up his 9th hit in the first inning, and he swings and he misses on that one. Milloway wasn't able to move on down to second. The ball bounced away, not too far, maybe 10 feet away from the catcher. I don't know. Milloway is not exactly an Olympic track star, and I don't know if he would have been able to get down there, but no balls, 1 strike. Throw over to first, and Milloway back to the bag safely. Rosenberger, junior player, playing second base today. He primarily our number 1 pitcher, and they're going to call a balk on the pitcher, and we've had several of those the last few ball games. So down to second will go Jonathan Milloway. Must be something they're really looking at. We had one yesterday that actually scored a run for the Wildcats. Had 3 the other day in the Anderson County ball game. Here's the pitch, a little bit high to Logan, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. We're on YouTube right now. Wishing everybody a good Friday out there. We'll be back here tomorrow. I don't know if we'll stream the ball game. It's kind of early in the morning, 10 o'clock. And if it was 20 degrees this morning, 28 degrees this morning, I don't know, it's going to be really cold. That pitch is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. As I mentioned, this is part of the Kevin Callia tournament that's been going on for many, many years. Unfortunate story. Wildcat baseball player passing away in his junior year. 1-1 pitch, breaking pitch, cut on miss. Nice pitch that time by Noah Ellis. And Rosenberger behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. (8-1), the Wildcats in the lead. Oak Ridge batting here in the second inning. They've got Jonathan Milloway down at second. Nobody out. Pitch to Logan is outside. And that evens the count at 2-2. Milloway takes his lead. It's like Joe Mason's out on the lawnmower riding around today. Actually, it's full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The ball hit on the ground. Third baseman takes a funny hop. He recovers, throws on the first high, and Rosenberger is at first. And coming in to score will come Jonathan Milloway as the throw went over the top of the first baseman, unable to pull it down. And the Wildcats have gotten that run back, and they've backed up to an 8-run lead here. It is now 9-1 Wildcats. So Milloway comes in to score. Rosenberger down to second on the error by the third baseman. And the Wildcat batter now is Alex McNaughton. Alex, in his first plate appearance, walked, came in to score, scored a run, stole a base, ball hit to center field. Center fielder calls for it. He's under it, but he can't make the catch. Goes off his glove, and McNaughton will reach second base, and Rosenberger is going to continue on, and he's going to score. Rosenberger never even stopped. He came around third, and that is another run for the Wildcats. So Logan comes in to score. McNaughton is at second on the error by the center fielder. Had it. He was under it. He was in good position, just couldn't quite make the catch. So the Wildcats now lead at 10-1, and Wildcats, there's another ball going past the third baseman, and McNaughton's going to pull up at third. I think more of a station to station here, as that was Ludwikowski, and he is down at first base. And the inning continues here as the Wildcats lead at 10-1 here in the second inning. The batter for the Wildcats will be the catcher, Zach Lang. Zach was hit by a pitch in the first inning. His courtesy runner, Jason Slay, came in to run for him. And it looks like there's a conversation here. It looks like we're going to have some changes here. They're going to put a new third baseman out there. honestly, to the credit of Noah Ellis, the pitcher, honestly, he deserves a better fate here because he really hasn't pitched that poorly. His defense has kind of let him down a little bit, to be honest with you. They have made several miscues in the outfield and in the infield, which have resulted in his now having to come out of the ball game here. And just my honest opinion, I don't think he pitched that poorly, to be honest with you. But they are going to make their third pitching change. And while they do that, we'll take a break. We're on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. Oak Ridge on top of Maryville Christian. The Eagles 10-1 our score as the Wildcats bat here in the second inning. We'll be back in a moment.
Yeah. They should have the
I think what's happening is, I'm not sure the light, I think it's too circular. So I think it says 10.
Who was the pitcher?
Welcome back on YouTube here. The Wildcats on top of the Eagles by a score of 10-1. And new pitcher is going to be Reese. He comes in. He'll be the third pitcher used. We're in the second inning. The Wildcats have a runner at third in the person of Alex McNaughton. Ludwikowski is the runner at first. We've had four errors in the inning. Ludwikowski at first. Here's the lefty's pitch. Hits him on the head. And so that first pitch hits Zach Lang, and that is the second time in this ball game that Zach's been hit. So he has reached base safely twice, and he's been hit twice. And so the Wildcats have the bases loaded, and the number 9 hitter is Caden Black. He was hit his last plate appearance. It's lefty versus lefty here. The Wildcats have the bases loaded. 2 runs in. They scored 8 in the first. They're up 10-1. And here's Reese's pitch. That's a little outside and high. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. Caden, as I mentioned, was hit by a pitch in the first inning. Came in to score a run for the Wildcats. He scored the 8th run of the first inning. Bases loaded. Infield is in for the Eagles. The pitch high and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. No place to put Caden Black here. And Reese trying to find the strike zone. His first pitch plunked the opposing catcher on the helmet. Jason Slay is running for Zach out at first. Here's the lefty's pitch. That's low and outside. And the count is 3 balls and no strikes. Caden came into this game at 367, 11 of 30 on the year. Here's the pitch to him. That's ball 4. So Black reaches base safely, picks up an RBI on the walk. In the score comes Alex McNaughton, and the Wildcat lead is now 11-1. And the batter, the top of the order we go, and that will be Matthew Swigert. Matthew is 1 for 2 in the ball game, and here's the first pitch to him. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike. Matthew singled and scored, stole 2 bases, his first plate appearance, popped out to the shortstop in his second. He is 1 for 2. Bases still loaded. Here's the pitch. High and inside, corner for a called strike. That evens the count at no balls and 2 strikes. 11-1, Wildcats here as the Wildcats bat here in the second. Reese trying to record his first out. He hit a batter, walked a batter. Here's the pitch to Matthew. That's way up high. And the count is going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out here as the Wildcats bat here in the second inning. And what has been a very productive 2 innings of work for the Wildcats. 11 on the board. Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground. Nice play by the third baseman, and he will have no play, though. He tries to flip on to second, but the Wildcats played another run, and all hands are safe. In to score there comes Jason Slay to make it 12-1. Caden Black is down at second. And actually, that was Ludwikowski who came in to score. And Slay is the runner at third. Bases remain loaded as that pitch is hit foul. Coming back our way. It's going to stay in play. Can't quite catch up to it. The catcher couldn't as Jacob Franklin falls behind. No balls and 1 strike. So the Wildcats still have the bases loaded. They've plated 4 here in the second. It's 12-1. Wildcats. Right-handed hitting, Jacob Franklin. This is Jacob's third at bat this ball game, and he's perfect. He singled in the first and doubled in the first, and he is going to reach base safely again. The bases are going to remain loaded as the ball is hit to the third baseman, and Jacob is on base. And they just keep coming around to score here as now Jason Slay comes in to score the 5th run of the inning. Caden Black is at third. Matthew Swigert is at second. And Franklin is the base runner at first. And the batter now will be Caden Updegraff. Caden singled, takes a strike here. Singled and scored in the first inning. Stole 2 bases. Was a strikeout victim of Noah Ellis in the first. Bases loaded. Wildcats up 13-1. Here's the pitch. Hit foul, back to the screen, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. On deck for the Wildcats is Jonathan Milloway of the Wildcats. No balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded for the Wildcats. Still nobody out here in the second. Here's the pitch to Caden. Hit off the end of the bat over towards the Eagle dugout, and count remains at 0-2. Jordan Osborne doing camera work and loving every moment of it here. And Neo Tate doing camera work as well. Ground shot. Pitch is hit down the line. That'll be at least 1 for Caden Updegraff. Station-to-station baseball for the Wildcats here. The Wildcats plate another run. That'll be the 6th run this inning. In to score that run is Caden Black. Matthew Swigert is down at third. Jacob Franklin is at second. That is an RBI single for Caden Updegraff, his first base hit of the ball game. He walked his first plate appearance, and the bases remain loaded. And the batter will be the cleanup man, Jonathan Milloway. And that pitch is inside. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. So the Wildcats have batted around here for the second consecutive inning as the Milloway. That's going to be a ball. The Wildcats, like I said, are playing station-to-station baseball. They don't want to – it's already out of hand. They don't want to embarrass the opponent here. They could have very easily come in and scored that run, but didn't want to there. 2 balls, no strikes to Jonathan. Milloway reached on an error and walked. He has scored 2 runs in this one, and that is ball 3. There is still nobody out. The bases remain loaded, and it is 14-1 Wildcats. Reese, the lefty, comes to the plate. And that is going to be ball 4. So Jonathan Milloway walks for the second time, picks up an RBI. In the score is Matthew Swigert. And my scorebook is really getting kind of messed up here. It's Wildcats have scored 7 this inning. The bases remain loaded. There's still nobody out. That pitch hits him in the back, and that's another run. And in the score will come Jacob Franklin. Caden Updegraft is at third. Jonathan Milloway is at second. Rosenberger is at first. And the Wildcats have scored 8 here in the second. The bases remain loaded, and there is nobody out. 16-1, the Wildcats in the lead. Batter now for the Wildcats is Alex McNaughton. The pitch to him is outside corner at the belt for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike the count. 16-1 Wildcats, bases loaded. Infield remains in for the Eagles. They'll come home with it. Anything hit on the ground. Here's the pitch to Alex McNaughton. He hits it down the third base line. That is another hit. Wildcats, like we said, playing station-to-station baseball. That is an RBI single for Alex. And in to score that run is Caden Updegraft. And the Wildcats lead it now 17-1. Still batting here in the second. That is a single by Alex McNaughton. And the batter now is the designated hitter, Bryce Ludwikowski. Bases loaded. Here's the pitch. And I don't know how that missed him. It was so inside, it was outside. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Bases loaded. Jonathan Milloway is the base runner at third. Down at second is Logan Rosenberger. Alex McNaughton, the base runner at first. The pitch, high. 2 balls and no strikes to Ludwikowski. Let's see what Bryce has done in this one. He has walked and scored in the first. He reached on an error and scored earlier this inning. 2 balls, no strikes to count to him. That is ball 3. And I don't know how long, honestly, they want to continue to have this kind of game go on. It's getting a little bit out of hand here. The Wildcats on top big, 17-1, as that pitch is ball 4. And in the score now comes Jonathan Milloway, and that is the 10th run of the inning. And down to third will go Rosenberger. Alex McNaughton is at second, and Ludwikowski walks, picks up an RBI. And the Wildcats lead it 18-1. And bases remain loaded. We've still yet to see an out recorded here in the second inning. And it looks like we're about to get our 4th pitcher of the ball game for the Eagles. And while he warms up, we'll take a break here. Wildcats on top 18-1. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Bobby Hopkins Field here. The Wildcats lead it 18-1 here. Bases remain loaded. A new pitcher in the ball game, and that pitch is down low a ball. The new pitcher is Jerry Cogburn. Fourth pitcher used for the Eagles. The Wildcats have put 10 on the board here in the second inning to lead it 18-1. Bases remain loaded. Here's the pitch. That is high. 2 balls and no strikes. Everybody who has batted this inning has scored a run. Jonathan Milloway has scored 2 runs in this one. 2 balls, no strikes, the count. Cogburn's pitch is a fastball high, and I think we'll probably see, hopefully, a liberal strike zone from here on out. That looked a little high, but that's the way it is. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count. Pitch is way high. I know that one was high. And the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Zach Lang has been hit by a pitch twice in this game. Earlier this inning and in the first. Here's the 3-1 pitch. High inside corner strike. Not a bad pitch at all there for Jerry Cogburn. And the count is full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. On deck for the Wildcats, Caden Black. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Here's the pitch. That is ball. He called a strikeout. That was outside, but as I said, we might see a liberal strike zone for the rest of the, at least this inning for sure. And the batter now will be Caden Black. Caden has reached base safely twice. He was hit by a pitch and scored in the first. Had an RBI bases loaded walk earlier this inning, and that is definitely a ball, and no way to call a strike on that one. It bounces away, and Logan Rosenberger comes in to score the 11th run of the inning. Alex McNaughton moves down to second. Ludwikowski is actually at second, and McNaughton's at third as Caden stands in once again. Left-handed hitter. He's a freshman. Playing shortstop for the Wildcats. Here's the 1-0 pitch. I'm going to wait for the umpire's signal before I make a determination on my own. That pitch was outside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes, the count. Runners at second and third, 11 runs in. That's a called strike. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Caden stands in. I think if you're going up there, you better be swinging as that pitch is down low. 3 balls and 1 strike, the count, I believe. 3-1, I believe. Runners at second and third for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge on top 19-1 here in the second inning. Right-handed thrower. Here comes the pitch. That is ball 4. So Caden reaches base for the 3rd time in this one. And the bases are loaded once again. And back to the top of the order we go to Matthew Swigert. Matthew reached on an error and scored earlier this inning. Popped out to the shortstop for an out in the first inning and singled and scored a run and stole 2 bases in the first. He scored 2 runs. That pitch hits his bat, and that is a strike. Thank you. Mitchell Gibbons is the batter. My apologies. Mitchell Gibbons is the batter for the Wildcats. I didn't even notice the change there. So the Wildcats getting Mitchell a chance to bat here, his first plate appearance, and that is a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. Let's see what Mitchell has done on the year. 1 for 8, 125 average, batting here for the Wildcats, Matthew Swigert. He takes a ball. And honestly, the ball hit his bat. The first pitch to him was way behind his bat and hit the backside of the bat. And that was the first strike. And here comes the pitch to him. That's low and outside, but called a strike. And the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I can't really argue with the umpire here. He's probably told the batters, you better be swinging unless it's just totally away. Here's the pitch. That is totally away. And the Wildcats will score another run. And in to score will come Alex McNaughton. And this inning continues. Ludwikowski. I think it's Ludwikowski. Yeah, he's down at third. Caden Black is down at second. And Mitchell's got a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 12 runs in the inning. The Wildcats lead it 20-1 here in the second inning. Here's the pitch, and that should be ball 4. And Mitchell Gibbons walks. And this inning continues, and the Wildcats will send to the plate. Looks like Joey Weston will get the bat. Joey's first plate appearance of the year, I believe. Yes, this is his first at bat of the year. Primarily, he's been used in pinch running positions, and he takes a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Very first plate appearance of the year for Joey. He's a lefty batting with the bases loaded here with 1 out here in the second inning. 12 runs in. Pitch. That is ball 2. No place to put Joey. And kind of a small strike zone here. Weston stands in. Left-handed hitter. I believe he's a sophomore. Neo, is he in your class? He is. That pitch hits him. Well, it might have hit the bat. Yeah, and it did, and that's the second time he's gotten a strike. I guess, I don't want to make fun of the situation, but I guess he's picked up 2 strikes by throwing behind the back of the batter and hitting the back, which was resting on his shoulder. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count. Joey back in, bases loaded. The pitch, and that is going to be a ball, and that is ball 4, or it hit him, either one. I guess it was ball 4, and Joey is on base. And did it hit him, or was that a walk? It hit him. So, okay. And the Wildcats score yet another run, and this time it's Ludwikowski coming in to score. Black is at third, and Gibbons is down at second. The bases remain loaded, and here comes the coach again for the Eagles, and we're going to have yet another pitching change. And this will be the, I guess, the 5th pitcher used in this one. And while we have a break in the action, we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back once again to Bobby Hopkins Field. John Berkeley, the new pitcher for the Eagles, the 5th pitcher used. And that pitch is a ball back to the backstop, but Wildcats are staying put. Wildcats have Caden Black at third, Mitchell Gibbons at second, Joey Weston at first. The batter for the Wildcats is Caden Updegraft. This is Caden's second plate appearance this inning. Had an RBI single and scored a run. That pitch is hit on the ground. One hop, fielded by the shortstop. It's going to throw on to Caden. That is an out. The Wildcats get another run. And in to score comes Caden Black. And moving over to third is Swigert. Weston's at second. Caden is out 6-3, second out of the inning. And for his third at bat this inning, the Wildcats are going to get a pinch hitter into the ball game. And Wildcats will step in with a new player. And he does not appear on my roster, and I apologize for the Wildcats. And here's the pitch to him, and that is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. That pitch is a ball, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. I apologize. I'm looking up my roster here. I do not see this person on my roster. Wildcats have scored 14 in this inning. They lead at 22-1. 2 balls, no strikes, the count. That's ball 3. Wildcats have runners at second and third. Mitchell Gibbons is the base runner at third. Joey Weston is out at second. And this young man batting here, and the pitch to him, bounce to the plate, and that is ball 4. So I don't know if one of you guys can go find out who that is at first. That would help me. Neo, you want to do it? Yeah, let's let Jordan take over. And let's see. Now batting for the Wildcats. Let's see who this is. If that is Rosenberger, I cannot see the number. That is going to be number 1. That is Jeremy Miller. Jeremy Miller getting his first plate appearance of the year. So Miller bats for the Wildcats, his first plate appearance of the year. That pitch is high, a ball. Wildcats have put 14 on the board this inning. They put 8 on the board in the first inning to lead at 22-1. Jeremy Miller, a 2-ball, no strike count. The pitch to him, ball 3. Jeremy's first plate appearance, fresh off the basketball team as well. Wildcats have 3 basketballers out there now getting a chance to play as Jeremy bats. I apologize, I didn't even recognize him. 3 balls, no strikes, the count. Bases loaded. And here's the pitch. That is ball 4, I think. At least that's what I had it as. I guess not. I guess Jeremy will bat. There must have been a strike called in somewhere in the sequence. So it's 3 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch to Jeremy. That is a called strike above his shoulders. His first plate appearance of the year gave him a decent strike zone. 3 balls and 2 strikes. His first bat of the year. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch to him, and that hits him. So Jeremy's on base. His first plate appearance of the year, and he's hit. And the Wildcats' Mitchell Gibbons comes in to score. Gibbons scores the 15th run of the inning. Joey Weston is at third. And the mystery guy,
Harrison Fesmeyer.
Harrison Fesmeyer, is the guy that walked, and I apologize for that. As Miller was hit by a pitch, picked up an RBI in doing so. And the Wildcats, let's see, who's batting here? It looks like it is going to be number 13, Hayden Morgan. So Hayden Morgan is hitting for McNaughton in this one. So Hayden batting. Wildcats have the bases loaded, have scored 15 in the inning. That pitch is a called strike, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hayden comes in at 214 on the year, 3 for 14 on the season. Got a chance to interview him the other day on the television show. Jeremy Miller takes his lead off of first. Wildcats have Fesmeyer at second. The pitch hits him. And Hayden, they're going to say that he did not try to get out of the way of it. And he's going to have to come back and bat. I don't know about that. I mean, I understand. I get it. And I don't want to be critical, to be honest with you. It's just, To me, if you take Payne, you take the base there, but he didn't really put much of an effort to get out of the way. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Berkeley, the pitcher, pitches hit in the left field. That is going to drop in for a base hit. 1-1 will score. Wildcats station to station baseball. That is a single for Hayden Morgan. That is an RBI for him. And another run comes in to score. Joey Weston comes in to score. And the Wildcats have scored 16 runs in this inning. And they still have the bases loaded. 2 outs. And the batter is Jason Slay. So this will be Jason's first plate appearance. Jason's first plate appearance of the year for the Wildcat. And he takes the ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count. 16 runs in. And Berkeley comes to the plate. Pitch is too high. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes. So the Wildcats getting a chance to play a lot of people here in this one. In fact, somebody who they must have dressed out between the innings or something, because it doesn't even appear on my roster there. Slay swings and fouls it over towards the Eagles dugout, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. We are in the 2nd inning here. The Wildcats in the lead. That's an understatement. As Berkeley comes to the plate, cut on and missed, and that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Let's see who's on deck. Zach Lang is on deck for the Wildcats. Slay's first plate appearance of the season. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count to him. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 3. Bases remain loaded. Fesmeyer is the runner at third. Jeremy Miller is at second base. And down at first is Hayden Morgan. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count to Jason Slay. And the pitch to the plate, and that is ball 4. So Jason Slay gets an RBI walk. And the inning continues as Fesmeyer comes in to score the 17th run of the inning. And the batter will be Zach Lang, and this is his 3rd plate appearance this inning. This is the 3rd time he has batted this inning. And bases loaded, the pitch to him, cut on and missed, and the count is 0 balls and 1 strike. 25-1, the score. The Wildcats in the lead here from Bobby Hopkins Field. The game you're watching on YouTube. That pitch is a called strike, and Zach, buddy, you got to be swinging up there. He's not gonna let you just take a walk there if it's anywhere close. 0 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch, well, he couldn't call that one a strike. That's a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. I feel for the umpire too. I mean, he is trying to do his best to kind of take a little bit of the load off of the Eagles here. 1-2 pitch, and that hits him. And so Zach reaches base, and that's about the 8th person who's been hit by a pitch. That is an RBI for him. And in to score comes Jeremy Miller. And the Wildcats have scored 18 runs this inning and still batting. And we've got another batter in the bat for the Wildcats, and he hits the ball on the ground to the third baseman, fields it, throws on the first, not in time. And the Wildcats have another run. And help me with this person who just was batting. He's not on my roster either. So in to score here comes Hayden Morgan, the 19th run of the inning. Slay is the base runner at third. And actually, I've just kind of lost count on all these people who are batting here. I don't even know who they are. As we're just rolling in, looks like Oak Ridge's Mitchell Gibbons is batting here. And right-handed hitter, Mitchell hitting for the 2nd time. He walked and scored his first plate appearance. He hits it on the ground to the third baseman. All he had to do is step on the bag, and he does for out number 3. So the inning finally comes to a close. The Wildcats scored 19 runs in the 2nd inning, And they lead it 27-1 as we go to the top of the third. We'll be back on YouTube in a moment. Welcome back once again to Bobby Hopkins Field. The Wildcats on top here of the Maryville Christian Eagles as the Eagles bat here in the third inning. And this is the number 9 hitter in their lineup, and he takes the ball. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. I'm assuming this is Tyler Davis. I'll ask here. It is Tyler Davis. There have been so many changes. I honestly haven't been able to keep up. Is Rafferty still pitching? That pitch is hit foul back our way and out of play. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. I can be honest with you, I have never seen a 19-run inning before in my entire life. But we're still playing here. Got to give credit to the Eagles here, wanting to be competitive here as that pitch is hit foul back right to me. If that net had not been there, I think I would have made the play. Do you all agree? They laughed at me, so I don't think they thought I'd catch it. But the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. We are on YouTube here on our Prep Radio channel. 27-1 is our score. Pitch is cut on a miss, gets away from the catcher, Zach Lang. He's going to have to throw him out, and he's not going to be able to. And that is we'll credit Zach Rafferty or Jackson Rafferty with a strikeout, but he reaches base safely. And they'll go back to the top of the order here. And I believe this will be A.J. Cable. And Cable popped out to short his first plate appearance back in the first inning. A.J. stands in, right-handed hitter, runner at first. The pitch is a called strike on the outside corner at the knees, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. I apologize. I had to do some quick math in my head to figure out what the score was. They don't have the totals up on the scoreboard. That is a called strike on the outside corner. They have it by innings. The Wildcats scored 8 in the first, 19 in the second. The Eagles scored their lone run back in the second inning as well. We're in the third now. Pitch is in the hits A.J. Cable in the back, so they've got a runners at first and second now, as he was hit by a pitch. It's been a while, actually, to be honest with you. Jackson Rafferty, the pitcher, that inning took a long, long time. So he hadn't really warmed up unless he was over in the Oak Ridge bullpen warming up. So he's got to be a little cold. And it's cold anyway, as they've got runners at first and second, nobody out here. And the batter is Griffin Russell, and he takes a pitch down low. Competitive, trying to get back in the ball game. They've got 2 on, nobody out here. Third inning. Oak Ridge High School baseball, part of the Kevin Callia tournament. The Wildcats will play tomorrow at 10 a.m. Going to be cold. That pitch is hit in the air, foul. First base side, first baseman over. Can't quite make the play. Playing first now for the Wildcats looks like Caden Updegraft. Looks like Jeremy Miller is the new second baseman for the Wildcats. Jason Slay, I believe, is playing short. The third baseman is Alex Franklin. So we'll put him in the book here in a second. That pitch is hit foul to the right. Let's check the outfield. Looks like we've got Jacob Franklin playing right. The center fielder is Joey Weston. And the left fielder, I guess is that Slay out there? Can you see Jason Slay? Is that him in left? Either way, no, Slay, I guess, is still at short there. I'm not sure who the left fielder is. We'll check that in a moment. That pitch is hit in the air, right side, over towards the line, foul, just foul. And Hayden Morgan, thank you. So Hayden Morgan is playing right field, and so Mitchell Gibbons is out in left field, perhaps. And I guess that is the case. I don't know. My scorebook is a mess anyway. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. They've got runners at first and second. Nobody out here. Russell the batter. Here's the pitch to him on the outside corner, and that is called strike 3. And that is the first out of the inning. And the batter now will be number 24 for the Eagles. And on my roster here, it says Boone Street, and that is not Boone Street. Number 8 batting here. Runners at first and second. 1 out here. Johnston the batter. The pitch to him is a called strike at the knees on the outside corner of the plate. If you just tuned in, the Wildcats in the lead over the Maryville Christian Eagles as they bat here in the 3rd inning. Jackson Rafferty, senior Wildcat, on the mound for the Wildcats, started the ball game. He throws one, swings and misses, does Johnston, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. I think Jackson DeBusk is on deck for the Eagles, Maryville Christian High School. Runners at first and second, 27-1, the Wildcats in the lead. Rafferty checks the runner, comes to the plate, a little bit low, I guess, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. So let me correct my mistakes here. The outfield consists of Mitchell Gibbons in left, Joey Weston in center, Hayden Morgan is in right, Caden Updegraft is at first, Jeremy Miller, a very tall second baseman for the Wildcats. That pitch is on the inside corner, called strike 3. That is another out and another strikeout. It's out number 2, and Jackson DeBusk will be the batter. The shortstop is Jason Slay, and Alex Franklin is the third baseman. And catching for the Wildcats is still Zach Lang. Jackson Rafferty is the pitcher. 27-1, the Wildcats in the lead. 2 outs now, though. Pitch is cut on and foul tipped. Count is 0-1. DeBusk is 0 for 1 in the ballgame. He was a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. Everybody getting a chance to play on the Wildcat side, including some junior varsity players who I think were practicing down there. I think Coach Free brought them in as that pitch is hit in the air. Left side, Mitchell Gibbons tracking it over towards the line, makes the catch for out number 3. So the first 2 batters reach base safely, and I believe they have called the ball game. That is the final score. Oak Ridge wins this one by a final score of 27-1, playing 3 innings. It was just a tough night for the Eagles of Maryville Christian High School. The Wildcats scored 8 runs in the first inning, 19 runs in the second, and they win it by a score of 27-1. I'm going to try to tabulate the totals here. It'll be very difficult. We will kind of have an interview with Coach Free here in a bit, and honestly, I don't believe we'll have any players come up here. I think everybody contributed to this win, but big win for the Wildcats, maybe a record-setting win for the Wildcats. They win it 27-1. We're on YouTube. I'll be back with the totals and a wrap-up with Coach Free in a moment. Yeah. Welcome back once again to Bobby Hopkins Field. The game finished after 3 innings. Oak Ridge wins it by a final score of 27-1. Wildcats did that with only, 5 base hits, several errors. It'll take me like all night basically to do the totals of the hit batsmen and the walks in this one. But so the Wildcats, we do know, will play at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. I don't know if we'll stream that. I'll post that or not. I haven't asked the crew. It's kind of early for these guys, 10 o'clock in the morning, in their not their Easter break, I guess. I guess they were off today, but hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to Coach Free in a few short moments. The winning pitcher in this ball game was Jackson Rafferty. He gets his first win of the year, pitches 3 innings, giving up only the 1 run, but 27 runs. Neo, I know you're not a big baseball guy, but it's a blowout win here.
Yeah, it really was. I was talking to some of the players down there, and they trying to save some feelings on the other team, but I mean, it was hard to do that with just so many walks.
Yeah, you don't want to embarrass the team, and that's really why they stopped after 3, because who knows what the score could have been.
Yeah, they had coaches talking down there and telling them to keep their head in the game, but also let off the gas a little bit. And I think that for me was kind of knowing that the game was going to be over right there.
They kind of call it station-to-station baseball. They could, like when I think it was Hayden hit the ball to left field, they could have scored a couple runs on that. But I saw the third base coach just hold the runner at third because they just scored the 1. They didn't want to continue just to roll up. But 19 runs in 1 inning.
Yeah, it's honestly unheard of. I've never heard of it. I mean, I've never seen it, anything. I mean, it's insane.
It's a small private Christian school. I believe they only have about 300 students total. It's just a tough one. As the Wildcats win it 27-1, I wait to talk to the head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Travis Free. While we wait for him to come over here, we'll take another break. We'll be back hopefully with him. If not, we'll wrap it up.
No, let's think how are they? I'll probably. Hey, let's be up to the picture. Wait, do you have that picture saying, you guys seen that picture where I'm like this? That's that, dude. Shut up. Oh, really? Bro, I forget mine. Oh, wait, you broke it? Oh, the Lord is Lord.
RBI Miller. RBI Miller. RBI.
RBI and no errors?
Oh.
I don't know. Read. Someone game was called.
Holy, that is no Powell. Oh, no. Powell is, I mean, irritable.
Yeah.
I got not.
He's got to move these courts. Make sure that they don't lose on the screen. Yeah.
Sorry, Oh, wait. You did that. It was him. No. Always know. What's up, Alex? Yeah, I know. Yeah, drop it down. Oh, you drop them down? Yeah. Like, just all the way down? Yeah. Not when you were up, though.
Can you turn the camera? Just put it on. Yeah. Make sure. Jackson Rafferty joins us here. He's the winning pitcher of this ball game. The final score, 27-1. Jackson, have you ever been involved in a game like this?
Not quite like that one.
19 runs you all scored in the second inning. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So you got a lot of help from your teammates today. You didn't really have to. You pitched well, but you didn't have to really. There was no stressful innings, I would say.
No, there was. Yeah, I just had to rely on the offense, and they obviously showed up today. So,
Well, how'd you think you pitched?
all right, there's room for improvement. So,
You had pitched, I guess, 3 innings previous to this one, I guess, in Upper East Tennessee, and you got 3 in today here. Were you hoping to go back out there for a 4th inning? You didn't want to embarrass them, I know.
yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to, just because I haven't been able to get my pitch count up any, so I need to be able to do that.
I was hoping he was going to let you bat, though. That's what, we talked about the other day. I was hoping he was going to let you bat, but, all he does is pitch.
That's all I do. Yeah.
So just your final comments before I get Coach Free in here.
Just a great team win.
Okay, thanks a lot. Congratulations. Let's get Coach Free in here as well, head coach of the Wildcats. Coach, it's one of those games where I know you didn't want to embarrass them. You played 3. I think you only had like 4 or 5 hits in the game. They made a ton of errors. They hit a lot of batsmen. Just a young team, private school, not a whole lot of talent there. And I applaud you for playing station-to-station baseball the best you could. I mean, the best you could. But your thoughts on the win?
Well, those games, they're the hardest to manage and hardest to coach. You're trying to clear your bench. You're trying to get everybody a chance of getting at bat. I try to get Jackson at bat, but the problem is if I take Jackson and get his at bat, then I got to take somebody else and get at bat, and then I got to take Jackson out of the game to pitch, and then it turns into a nightmare. Really, it's hard to manage those. It's hard for our kids to play. We couldn't do what we like to do best because we've been talking about all week. Our favorite thing to do is run the bases, steal bags, get guys at third base, and go. And I think we were able to do that one time tonight. So all in all, we'll take it. It's a win. I mean, that's 4 in a row. We'll take that anytime we can get it.
Well, let's move on to tomorrow, so we can get kind of explain the way it's going to work tomorrow. It was very complicated the way you explained it to me. I'll let you do it.
Well, what we've done is we've got 4 teams. Well, there are actually 6 teams playing tomorrow. But what we've done is we've taken the final 4. So we've taken myself here at Oak Ridge, and then we've taken Carnes as another site that we're using this weekend. So we wanted to keep us separated, number one, because we're in the same conference. So what we've done is we seeded ourselves, Oak Ridge and Carnes, either the 1 seed or the 2 seed. So we went 2-0, and Carnes went 0-2, I believe, actually. So we're the 1 out of Carnes and Oak Ridge. So we will host the number 2 between Cookeville and William Blount. So we have the 2 seed, William Blount, here at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Carnes has the 1 seed, which would be Cookeville, at their place at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So the winners will then match up and play the Calia Tournament Championship, and then the losers will meet up and play a consolation game later afternoon. We want to make sure everybody has 4 games. A lot of times in these tournaments, you just schedule out 4 games. Everybody plays their 4, and you just kind of go about your way. But I wanted to play for, make it a little more competitive on Saturday. So that's what we're doing there. And then Knoxville Christian is actually going to play Halls in a game just scattered in the day tomorrow.
So potentially you could play Carnes today, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You could play Carnes 3 days in a row?
We could potentially play Carnes tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we could then we'll play them Tuesday and Wednesday next week.
So
there is a chance that we do that. we're going to do our best to keep that separated. But if the games do that tomorrow, like if we both lose, then we would match up, or if we both win tomorrow, then we'd match up in that spot too.
And obviously, that wouldn't be a district ball game, wouldn't count towards the district. So, Coach, just your final comments on this win today.
A win. That's the most important. It was a win for our team. It's a win for our kids. It gave us an opportunity to get some guys in the game, and it gave Jackson a chance to get out there on the mound again and get it going. So, I mean, all in all, anytime you can win is always a big deal.
Coach, thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you, guys.
It's Coach Travis Free, head coach of the Wildcats. Oak Ridge wins it 27-1 is the final score. Wildcats have won their 4th game. I believe they're 7-4 on the season. And they'll play, as we said, 10 o'clock tomorrow here at Bobby Hopkins Field. Appreciate Neo Tate and Jordan Osborne for helping us out here. And Jordan's he's having fun getting this close up with me on the screen here. For Neo and Jordan, 27-1 the final score. So long, everybody.